Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Radical Russ Belville. I'm the host of the Russ Belville Show, live every weekday, 3 p.m. Pacific time on 420radio.org. We do news, interviews, events, analysis, rants, opinion, new music every single weekday. We're also available as a podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, streaming live on Ustream and TuneIn Radio on your smartphone. So that's where you can find more of what I'm doing. But I got to tell you, he did mention this has been a lot of Hempfest that I've done. It's great to be here at the third day of my 10th Hempfest. 10 years at Seattle Hempfest. Does it feel good? Feels good being legal too, I got to tell you that. I got arrested this year for the first time ever. First time ever smoking pot since 1990. First time ever I had to deal with the man. Got arrested. Put in handcuffs, put in the back of a squad car, driven to a cinder block and plexiglass room to be secluded from the rest of humanity because of the danger that I had weed on me. Not much more weed than this. That's legal right here in Seattle, Washington, right here in this entire state of Washington. You know, sometimes when I do these speeches, a lot of people would be, you know, saying, hey, register to vote. You got to register to vote. Oh, man, I don't want to register. That doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean that. Hey, it means something. We changed the law. We made it legal. And this is so important because the war on drugs and the war on marijuana itself is just, it's just the symptom. It's just what we see. It's the tip of the iceberg into what's really going on here in America. Have you guys been checking out the news this week and checking out what's going on in Ferguson, Missouri? You seen that where they got riot cops on the streets and armored vehicles, and they're lobbing flashbang grenades and tear gas at peaceful protesters that were upset that the cops gunned down yet another young black man in the streets? I saw that and I thought, oh, hey, look, it's all the armor and tear gas and stuff that they've been using against peaceful pot users for a decade now. You've heard the story of the young kid, right? Where they had the SWAT raid, they threw in the flashbang grenade, it ended up in the kid's crib, blew a hole in the kid, severely burned him, 3rd-degree burns. In the headlines, they call that a botched drug raid. There ain't nothing botched about a drug raid. There ain't nothing botched when you're sending in paramilitary troops using anti-war tactics against peaceful people, their children, shooting their pets, because they chose pot over booze or pot over pills. They made a smart choice. They made a sensible choice. That, hey, if I'm going to alter my outlook, how about I pick the least addictive, least harmful, no hangovers remedy that I can choose? And that's marijuana, and that's why we're here. But again, it's a symptom of such a deeper problem that's going on. Our anti-marijuana laws began for racist purposes. They picked the word marijuana because the people of America knew what cannabis was, and Americans paid taxes in hemp for 200 years. You couldn't ban hemp. You couldn't ban cannabis. People were using it as medicine, but you could ban something that sounded foreign, something that sounded dangerous, something the brown people might use. And it was based on racism. All our anti-drug laws, the first anti-cocaine laws based on anti-black racism in the South. Our first anti-opium laws based on anti-Chinese racism in the Bay Area. And it continues today. Not only that we see in the states that haven't legalized yet, you know, that they still arrest black people and Latino people at 2, 3, 4, up to 8 times the rate that they arrest white people, despite the fact that we all use pot and other drugs at about the same rate. About the same rate. But yet, we, white people, don't share that disproportionate burden. But not only in the states where it's illegal, in the states where it's legal. Just recently, they showed a thing here in Seattle where they tallied up all the public pot, smoking tickets they've given out, because, it's a ticket, $25 ticket. Again, disproportionately against black people. So it's these ingrained habits in our law enforcement, ingrained habits in our culture that the war on drugs has just been a symptom of. We couldn't outright arrest all the black and brown people, so we found a way to arrest them for what they were smoking, for what they were using, because they were using it on the stoop instead of in the suburbs or in the basement or in the garage. So, the fact that we changed that here in Washington, and in Colorado, and now we're set to be changing it in 3 more states. We got Alaska. Any Alaskans out there? I was talking to some Alaskans earlier. They're set to legalize an ounce of marijuana and tax it with a $50 flat tax per ounce. How's that sound? Got to sound better than the 25% in Washington, that's for sure. My state of Oregon, we are set to legalize an ounce, 4 plants at home that we can grow, 8 ounces at home that we can possess, 16 ounces of edibles, 72 ounces of tinctures, an ounce of home-bought concentrate, decriminalize twice that amount, so it's just a ticket if you have twice that, and defelonize up to 4 times that amount. Means you got to have up to 4 times the state limit before you get a felony. You can learn more about this kind of stuff. I'm going to appear at the International Cannabis Business Conference, and I can't believe that we have such a thing now. I mean, just 5 years ago, President Obama was laughing that how could marijuana legalization help the economy? Ha ha ha, what are those online people thinking? Now, we have International Cannabis Business Conferences. People flying in from Uruguay and all over the world. We've got Andrew Sullivan from Washington, D.C. coming in. It's September 14th and 15th. We'll be there. I can't believe that we're to that point. We've been laughed at, and now we're succeeding. And it's been 10 years here at Hempfest. It's been a joy and a pleasure to see this change. In 10 years, we've gotten 13 more medical states. We've got 11 new CBD states, 8 new decrim states, 2 legalization states, and 3 more to come. I'm Radical Russ with 420 Radio. Thank you.
Come on, give it up for Russ. Thank you so